Come a little closer. Not too close.
You can turn some of these chairs around if you'd like to sit. So, hello everybody. Thank you all for being here. This is, it's a special occasion for Bishops. As you know, the Gators are going to open their season tonight against the University of Sherbrooke. This is now called the Mayor's Cup. So the two universities face off for Sherbrooke supremacy, and we hope that our team will do well. I know, I'm sure they're well prepared, and it'll be a fun game. And certainly we couldn't have picked a nicer evening. Before we have dinner and before we go to the game, I'd like to take this opportunity to honor one of the great Gators. And I want to thank Wally and Louise for being here and for putting up with a little bit of fanfare and attention. I know this is not what Wally would most like, but we think it's important, and we're grateful to you and Louise for agreeing to put up with us. I was thinking this morning, I'm not sure if Wally will remember this, but we first met in a pretty nondescript diner on the West Island of Montreal. Dave McBride and I met Wally, I think it was for breakfast. One of these no frills, not flashy, not pretentious, the place is just good. I thought it was a pretty good reflection of who Wally is. And then one day, a few days, probably a few months actually later, Dave McBride, who was head of our development, calls me up and says, "Michael, you're not going to believe this. Just got a call from Wally Denver, and he has made this just unbelievably generous gift to the university." Now, we'd never talked to Wally about contributing to Bishops. We hadn't even launched the capital campaign. And in giving us the gift, Wally didn't tell us what he wanted done with the money. He made it clear he didn't want any attention. He just wanted to help Bishops. So if you can imagine, I was both thrilled and grateful. But I do remember saying to Dave McBride, an unsolicited gift, no strings attached. This capital campaign is going to be a piece of cake. Unfortunately, not everyone is as generous and as unpretentious as Wally is. But I can say that it was Wally's gift that really gave us the self-confidence and the momentum to launch the campaign and to believe that we could do so successfully. As we know, we managed to reach our objective, and now we raised it a little bit. And it all was built on the foundation of Wally's unsolicited generosity. I'm not a great Bishops historian, but we did do a little bit of research, and we found this from the October 5th, 1960 edition of the campus. I guess this was the preview for the October 3rd. And anyway, it was certainly about the football season, and the quote was about Wally. "He is the blue-fingered left end again this year. A hard-bitten veteran who is fast becoming a tradition around the campus." When you think about it, it's a pretty prophetic statement. Wally certainly has become synonymous with Bishops athletics and support for Bishops athletics. So some of you may know that he was the university's male athlete of the year in 1961. A fair amount has changed, I think, probably since Wally was playing here in the late 50s and 60s. I was given a couple of notes. His coach's name at the time was Heath. Is that right? Some of the nicknames of his teammates, I don't know if any of you were here, but there was Bone Dome, Wheezy, the Beaconsfield Basher and the Big Deaker. Any of you here? You don't want to admit it if you are. So the football team in 1961 had 28 players. How many will be suiting up tonight? 40 something? 45?
Coaching staff.
And the football locker room, the moment the last game of the season was played, the players had to get out of it because it had this pass on to the basketball team. So most of the season around the training was still not part of the program at the time. There were no frills, there was no synthetic turf. We only had one gym, a single gym, which was used for obviously several purposes, for a student body of about 400 students then. So Wally was like, I guess, many of our athletes of the time, a multi-sport competitor. I don't know if you gentlemen can imagine this, but he was a great basketball player, you'll be pleased to know that. Garth is here, I think Garth can probably attest to that.
Somebody's kidding, Gert.
He was a badminton champion. Probably helped with both basketball and football. Obviously a football player. He was, I understand, kind of like the star of the intramural program. So really one of the great all-around athletes at the university. The John H. Price Center, where we are now, was built in 1974, as many of you know. And it has undergone in this last period a $30 million renovation and expansion. And in many ways we are here to thank Wally for getting us on the path to being able to do this. It was not just government funding, it was the fact that we had philanthropic support that allowed us to get this project done. The new double gym behind me serves, 2,400 students now at Bishop's, about 1,100 students in Champlain, and countless members of the Lennoxville and Sherbrooke communities, from the youngest kids to seniors. So it's a wonderful facility for our two institutions and for our community. It will be known as of now, as you can see, as the Denver Gym, the Denver Gymnasium. And so it takes its rightful place beside Coulter Field, the Mitchell Gym, the Hamel Lounge, and the Jane and Eric Molson Arena. So Wally, we are enormously grateful to you for your friendship, for your steadfast encouragement with Bishops, for your generosity, and for 55 years of loyalty to your alma mater. Just before I pass the podium over to Wally, I do want to say that Wally's children are here tonight. Maybe you can put up your hands. So Keith of the class of 88. There's Keith. Jennifer of the class of 91. Jennifer, welcome. Kim, class of 92. There's Kim. And is Bianca here? Yes. That's Bianca, who graduated just last spring, right? Well, that's pretty good. From a really great start, and it just has gone from strength to strength. So, the naming of the Denver Gymnasium tonight means that the Denver name and the Denver contribution and the Denver legacy to Bishops is something which will endure for all time. And we're just particularly proud to be able to mark this occasion and to say thank you to all of the Denver family, and particularly to Wally, for all that you've done to support Bishops. So to all of you and to Wally, thank you. I'm going to go on my toes.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm certainly indebted to Michael because 2 years ago he took Louise and I around showed us the various venues that were available for to be named, and there were quite a few. It was the pool and the center, and in any event, he suggested, and it was a great suggestion, that I take the gym, which remember you came over during one of the basketball games Archdiocese. That's a great idea because I may have picked the weight room down in the bowels of the football team, which would not have been appropriate. This is certainly a great honor for the Denver family. I'm extremely proud to be a Bishop's graduate. I'm extremely proud to be part of the Bishop's family, and I sincerely believe that Bishop's is family. I graduated in 1961. Sometimes it feels like 100 years ago. And the scary part is that it almost is 100 years ago. My son Keith, as Michael just alluded to, my son Keith, my two daughters Jennifer and Kimberly, all graduated from Bishop's. We had another graduation this past June when Bianca graduated. So as a family, we definitely made purple. I guess everyone who's gone to Bishop's has a story. My story is probably similar, if not identical, to most other Bishop graduates. I love this place. My 4 years at Bishop's were unquestionably the most rewarding and memorable years of my young adult life. I know that I'm preaching to the choir right now, but I just would like to reminisce a little bit because it needs to be done. There are many reasons I enjoyed my Bishop's experience, but I believe the most overwhelming reason for me was the uniqueness of its small size. When I enrolled here in 1957, and like you mentioned 400, I was on the impression it was just under 600 students, full-time students at the university. And unlike large universities that have lineups and quotas and all kinds of thousands of students, at Bishop's, anybody and everybody could join any of the clubs, the Glee Club, the Drama Club, the Baby. Anybody could play, participate in any of the activities. Anybody could play any of the sports, including the university sports. I played high school football in Montreal, and I still play some coming to Bishop's. I wonder if I can make varsity team. Maybe I can. Well, the truth be known, everybody made varsity team. As you mentioned, Michael, we only had 30 players in my first year, and I think you're allowed 40. And what do you have now, 60, 70, 80 student athletes on campus? There's many great things about Bishop's, but the one great thing that I really thought was special was that anybody could become somebody. You didn't have to be an elite athlete. You didn't have to be a fantastic student. You just had to be, you could succeed and feel good about yourself. And that's so important. The available resources that Bishop's provides that just gives an atmosphere to flourish. Bishop's was good to me and good for me. Winston Churchill had a favorite saying, you make a living by what you get, and you make a life by what you give. And I wanted to give something back to my alma mater. I was lucky enough in life that I could do that. I know it was very much appreciated. I want to extend giant kudos to Michael Goldblum, Dan Fournier, Tim Griffin, and their committee for the fantastic job they have done with the company. I mean, for a little university our size, to have a goal of 30 million and breeze by that is a tremendous tribute to the Bishop's family and credit to the Bishop's family. I would also like to pay tribute to a gentleman who is here for whom I have the greatest respect. He was our athletic director when I first started here in 1957. I speak, of course, of Garth Smith. Garth is here today with his lovely wife, Sylvia. Garth was coach of the men's senior varsity basketball team. He also coached the second team, and I played for the second team. But they now call it the junior varsity team, which I think is so much better. If you didn't make the first team, you played on the second team. So, God bless your Garth, we spent a lot of time teaching us how to play basketball, teaching us to have fun. We played in a local industrial league in and around Sherbrooke. We didn't win too many games. I remember our budget was so small we had to hitchhike to some of the games. But Garth did a lot for business for over 40, 50 years, Garth. And you wore just about every hat at this university, with the exception of the principal, and you wore them well. Bravo, Martha, and thank you very much for the message. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Michael Goldblum, Patrick Bryan, Linda Goldman for all the work they have done in planning, organizing, and executing this dedication ceremony. They've really done a great job, and we at the Denver family were extremely proud and very honored. Thank you very much.
Before we step in and have dinner, we're going to unveil the plaque and ask Louise or where do you want to come forward as well? Yeah. Come on over here, Wally. Right over here. Check.
We better get on the other.
You just have to reach behind Wally and rip that off.
Yes, literally.
Yeah, tear it off.
Wally,
Read it there.
Yes.
Wow.
This way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we'll welcome everyone into dinner and just end of the hall here. Come on down.
Can I just one last picture? Sure. Inside the
Sure.